Hey YouTube, it's going to be another video about Meier. Now I'm going to be honest, I had heard about Meier in 2011, watched a few videos of her in 2011, and I had a notebook written about Megan and written about Phoebe Prince. That was the first bullying story I heard about. Then I heard about Meier the same day. Then I also heard about Amanda Todd. So I had pages written about Phoebe, then I had pages written about Megan, but I lost the notebook because I had pages and pages about Megan. Just like 3 pages is how much I was going to fill up of Megan, just as much as I had about Phoebe. But you know what? I lost it, but I was on a Meier, or I was on a video once, and one night back in April, 3 months ago, but I didn't post them until like, let me see, I didn't post the videos until a few months ago. I didn't post the videos until, let me go down to them. I didn't post the videos until May 19th, 2015, so I didn't post them until almost 2 months ago. So I was on YouTube one night and I stumbled across Meier's video, and then that Meier subject just swamped me, and I just became it had just gotten into my head that maybe I should make videos about her now. And I mean, it's been going on for months, and I deeply, even though I never met Megan, I deeply care about her. Megan was beautiful, and it's so sad that she's not dead though. She's alive. You know why? Because Jesus said there's no such thing as death, and she did go to a Catholic school, but suicide is very sad. When I heard that Megan killed herself or had hung herself, that's what really broke my heart, because Megan was beautiful. But here we go. Here's Tina. I'm going to film 2 videos about Tina. You never really hear from her dad, Ron, anymore, but here you go.
My name is Tina Meier, and I'm the founder and executive director of the Megan Meier Foundation.
I think the reason she made that is because her daughter Megan took her own life.
I want to talk to you about cyberbullying, and I want to talk to you about a story about my daughter Megan. Megan was born on November 6th of 1992.
About close to 10 months after me. I was born January 19th, 1992, and I've been on the subject for a long time, and I see Megan. She had the most beautiful smile. She had an amazing smile. She had a beautiful smile, beautiful eyes. She had nice hair. And she did suffer from self-esteem, and she was an amazing girl, and I'd love to meet her up in heaven and give her a big hug, because she's beautiful, gorgeous, a gorgeous girl. Yeah. She was kind of blonde and brunette, and I was blonde when I was born. I filmed videos because I bleached my hair blonde in 2010? No, 2012, and my hair went back brown after we cut off all the blonde. And Megan was blonde and brunette mixed together. I would love to meet Megan when I go up to heaven and give her a big hug. She had a beautiful smile.
She was this amazing girl. Megan suffered from self-esteem issues from very early on.
I had depression a lot.
And in 3rd grade, Megan was diagnosed with depression and attention deficit disorder.
I have attention deficit disorder also, and I have autism disability, so it's not easy.
Megan struggled through the rest of elementary, and into middle school, Megan went through the traditional name calling, the isolating, those bullying issues.
If I could go back in time, I would have saved Megan and told her that she shouldn't commit suicide because she's better than all those other people. She's better than them. What the people who call her
At the
name.
beginning of her 8th grade year, Megan came home and asked if she could have a MySpace. And 3 weeks in, she got a friend request from a boy by the name of Josh Evans. She thought this boy was so cute and begged me to add him. Megan and Josh started talking. Josh told Megan she was beautiful and had beautiful eyes and a...
Well, she did. She did have beautiful eyes and a beautiful smile. She has, like, brown hair, brunette, yeah.
great smile.
She did have a beautiful smile. Actually, as a matter of fact, she did have braces, but that didn't stop her beautiful smile from showing.
Megan thought he was as cute as can be. And after 5 weeks of her and Josh talking and liking each other, Megan received a message from Josh that said, "I don't want to be friends with you anymore. You're not a nice person." I looked...
I just want to hear this. Because Ashley Grills said she would say that so Megan would get angry and leave him alone. And she could get rid of MySpace because she wanted to end it. What I wish she would have done is just deleted the MySpace.
at the computer and saw
And not say that to Megan because it drove her to suicide.
messages that came from Josh to Megan, Megan to Josh, and now Josh had other kids involved. These messages were mean, humiliating, and cruel. The nicest of them, so you understand where that really went, was Megan Meier's a fat ass. Megan Meier's a whore.
I don't think any of those messages are nice at all. And when I hear that, it just breaks my heart that someone would actually do that to a 13-year-old. You know what? In teenage years, well, what Megan did was she fired back. And in teenage years, you're going to meet a bunch of people who don't even know what's right and what's wrong. I mean, basically, it's kind of hard to describe. I feel comfortable making videos for Megan just so she knows that I feel comfortable making these videos about Megan, though it's sad. The reason I feel comfortable about it is because I know Megan's up in heaven, and she'll know that I did deeply care, even though I never met her, that I still care deep with all my heart, that my heart, if we met, my heart would pour love. And I would tell her that she didn't deserve what she went through. Megan, it's not your fault. And here we go.
And those were the nicest things that went out about Megan. And she took off running upstairs to her room. I
think whore is kind of... The word whore pisses me off because you know what whores are. They're people who pay to have sex with you.
into the kitchen to talk to her.
Megan is not a whore. Megan is beautiful. Megan, excuse me, if you're watching this from heaven, you are a gorgeous angel.
Dad, and probably 20 minutes passed. I stopped in mid-sentence. I just had this horrible feeling that ran through my body. I took off running upstairs to Megan's room, opened the door, and I found Megan hanging in her closet. Megan was transported to Children's Hospital, and 24 hours later, on October 17th of 2006, Megan passed away. Megan was weeks from being 14 years old. A few hours later, her dad left, and he went to the house to see, was there a note, was there something? How did this happen? There was no note, but he saw on Megan's instant messaging that there were 2 messages sent to her. They were from Josh, and they said, "The world would be a better place without you, and have a shitty rest of your life."
That part just makes me want to break down and scream in agony and cry as hard as I've ever cried, because I can't believe that someone would actually say that to someone. And I can't believe you could actually say that to someone, and someone who never did anything to you. And judging to it, I know Sarah Drew was in it, Lori Drew was in it, and Lori Drew just needs to get... I mean, that is not fair. Lori Drew and Ashley Grills and Sarah Drew all just need to get stuffed.
These were the last 2 messages sent to Megan. I understand we all get hurt and embarrassed and humiliated and angry. But when we say those things, those few words, you can destroy another person. We found out 5 weeks after Megan passed away that this Josh Evans account, Josh was fake. He was never real. It was really a mom who lived 4 houses down the street. It was her daughter Sarah who had been friends with Megan since the 4th grade, and another 18-year-old girl. These 3 were Josh the entire time. Why? They wanted to find out if Megan was talking about her daughter Sarah behind her back. That was the sole purpose. It was a joke. It was funny. 5 weeks.
I don't think it's funny at all. I think they should just never even invented that MySpace, and Megan was starting to get happier over that summer. Her and Sarah should just work stuff out, and maybe this would have never happened. Megan, I'm not trying to blame you because it's not your fault. It's those 3's fault.
Prior to Megan's death, this family had no...
They think it's funny, I don't.
It was a joke. It was funny. 5 weeks prior to Megan's death, this family had no clue Megan was going to take her own life. But that's the problem. When we create these accounts because it's funny or it's a joke or other people think it's great and we join in, we don't have a clue of what that other person feels, what they're going through. These are the tragedies that can happen. As a parent, I can tell...
Few tears in my eyes. And Megan, this is even sadder. Even rather than just having a mom and dad, she had a sister. That's so sad. That even makes it sadder. I have a brother and sister. I'm glad I'm not an only child. I'm the youngest. Megan was the oldest out of the daughters, but poor Megan.
There is no greater loss. That pain and that grief I will carry for the rest of my life. What my hope is through hearing this story is understanding that our words and that our actions through electronics truly can hurt another person. We don't understand what they're feeling. I know that if Megan was here today, Megan did not want her life to end. She wanted the pain to stop, and she didn't realize where to turn. That's why we're here, to make sure.
Speaking as a person who cares about everyone, if I would have been there in that time, if I could create a time machine and go back and save Megan, I would tell Megan it's fake and not to end her life because her life is worth living. And I would tell her to block Josh Evans.
That you as teens understand that you can go talk to a trusted adult, that you can contact Teen Line. There are people out there who care and want to help you, and we want to make sure you know that those are available.
If
you or someone you know is exposed to bullying, please know the teens at Teen Line are here to help. There's no issue too big or too small. Please call, email, or text us.
Here's another video, and it's called Tina Meier Remembering Megan Meier.
Megan was a type of kid who kept you on your toes. She was diagnosed with depression and attention deficit disorder in 3rd grade. So many times when you have children who have ADD or ADHD, they are constantly on the move. You're constantly, they're 10 steps ahead of you. You're trying to stay close with that. So it was a busy lifestyle, but it was good. My girls were great. We did a lot of things, family vacations.
If I would have been involved with that family, I would have taken Megan to do anything she wanted. If I would have been like a big adopted brother, I would have taken her to go get ice cream or something, or take her to dinner or something and share what I cared, I care about everyone. I don't think this poor innocent girl should have killed herself because she had so much beauty. And I'm not blaming her because it's not her fault.
Um, Megan was the type of child who always wanted to know about things. I mean, she was not a naive child. Megan wanted, if she found out about something, she wanted to know how it was made, how it broke down. So
that's what I'm like. I heard about this Justin Bieber war back in 2011, and I researched everything about it. That's one trait of me. One time when I heard about Megan Meier, I researched that. One time I heard about Phoebe Prince, I researched that. I heard about Amanda Todd, I researched that. I heard about the Columbine Massacre. I researched a lot about that and wrote my own story on it. I've written so many things. I have researched many things in my life, and this is the number one thing that I've been researching more now than anything else.
So things were great. Megan was in middle school. She had been bullied quite a bit, especially seventh grade was horrible for her. Boys stomped behind her in the lunch line, calling her a fat cow and an elephant.
You know what? I would have told her to just ignore it. Those kids don't have any soul or heart or anything.
To the point that Megan stopped eating lunch. She, of course, didn't tell me about this because why would you tell a parent about this? I mean, it's embarrassing. Megan was made fun of in gym, laughed at, called thunder thighs. Bottom line is Megan was miserable. She cried every morning going to school, every evening coming home from school. She wanted to fit in, and Megan thought, if I fit in with that popular crowd, those boys aren't making fun of those girls, so maybe they'll accept me. Unfortunately, nothing Megan did would work.
I'd like to actually talk judging to that because I was the same way. I thought that if I fit in with the popular kids, that I would be more accepted. See, I'm like Megan on this one. If I would have been more accepted, I would have been more happy. Because in elementary school, I hung out with a bunch of outcasts. It was just me, a guy named Cecil, a guy named Jacob, a guy named Nick, a guy named Greg. So it was all 6 of us, and then Cecil left the group because he moved, and then Nick was a little bit hit and miss sometimes. He hated me and came back to be my friend. But then it was mostly just the 4, Eddie, Greg, Jacob, and I, and then sometimes Nick would come back, but then I left the group. Or I rejoined the group again after the summer, but then I left after 6th grade because I started to play football more. I was still getting made fun of. One kid, believe it or not, I cry easily. One kid told me to shut the fuck up, and then I started to cry because I hate being told to shut the fuck up. And then he saw me cry and he laughed at me, and then he told the teacher on me. He told me to shut the F up, and all my friends saw me cry. It was really hard for me. See, I feel the same way Megan does about this.
Didn't feel, even though Megan had friends,
There were people who didn't care when I cried, but there were a lot of people who felt bad about making me cry later.
Still thought that that was her answer. I used to tell her, Megan, you can't buy friendship. A friend is a friend through good and through bad, not just because you're giving them something or you can do something for them. But I was just a mom talking. I didn't understand what she went through every day. It was about 3 weeks in, and
a lot of people didn't understand what I went through. They don't know what autism is mostly. Autism is a different form of a disability, but you learn different, but you're still very smart. I have autism disorder, minor intellectual disability, and ADD.
And she received a friend request from a boy named Josh Evans. And the friend request would come in, and it would show a picture and the name. And Megan called me over to the computer excited, Mom, come look at this. I went and I looked and I said, okay, who is that? And she said, I don't know, Mom, he's hot. I said, well, Megan, I'm great, you think he's cute and all, but is he a friend of a friend, or how do you know him? And she goes, Mom, I don't, he's hot, please let me at him. And I did let her at him. And I told her, listen, if he says anything negative, anything sexual, he's deleted immediately. And
even Tina talked to Josh and said, "I think you're a little too old for my daughter. I understand your concern, or you're wanting to protect your daughter. I understand." And that's because Lori Drew probably said that, not a 16-year-old who would flip out, possibly.
believe me, since all of this has happened, I have had some negative comments from parents and even some questions from students of, why did you let Megan add this person? Why would you do that? She didn't know them. And the specific reason is that I was afraid, what if she went to a friend's house? What if she went somewhere else and she was able to get on and add them? What if she added them under her friend's account? Even though she didn't have the password, there are still ways. So I, one, wanted to let her know that I do trust her, but secondly, I had the controls to monitor.
Yeah, I created a MySpace in 2017. No, what am I thinking? Sorry, that was wrong. 2009. Then I created a Facebook, and at first it was YouTube. I created the YouTube when I was 16. Facebook and MySpace both when I was 17. I quit using my MySpace. I used the MySpace I loved MySpace, but then, MySpace became so lame. MySpace is lame. Because I went on it for like a year, and then in September 2013 my friend said he doesn't go on MySpace anymore. He said Facebook is so much better, so I started using Facebook and did a lot of research, then found out about MySpace, MySpace, I tried to sign up once and it didn't work. The second time it worked, but then I got Facebook, and I love Facebook way more.
Right. It was a Sunday night, October 15th of 2006, and she had filled out her birthday invitations. And it was late in the evening, and she said, hey Mom, can I get on MySpace? I said, yeah, you can for a few minutes, so I signed her on. And she got a message from Josh that said, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. You're not a nice person. And Megan was confused. She was like, where is this coming from? What the heck? So she told me about it, and I said, Meg, respond. Maybe you had a bad day. Who knows? So she responded, what are you talking about? Where'd you get this from? But there was no response. So about a half an hour later, I called to check on her, and Megan was crying. And I said, Meg, what's going on? And she said, Mom, they're being horrible. They're saying horrible things to me. Who? Who are you talking about? And she said, on MySpace. I said, Megan, are you still on MySpace? And she said, yes. And I said, Megan, get off the MySpace and I will be home. Probably 20 minutes went by and we were talking, and I just got an absolute horrible feeling.
This was later. This was a day later,
I don't know how else to describe it, throughout my whole body. And I took off running upstairs to Megan's room. I opened her door and I found her hanging in her closet. This is something really important that we have to start working on, because technology is going to go nowhere. So we have to make sure that we can get this out there for more people to understand that it's something that kids deal with every single day, 24/7.
Well, that's my video for now. Thank you all for watching. Megan, if you're watching this from heaven, rest in peace. You're a beautiful girl. You didn't deserve this. You're an angel now. You're free from all the pain. But I know you had a life worth living. Alright, stay up to date and subscribe, everyone. Bye, peace.